Before you buy the Kindle Scribe, then have a look at these alternatives. I've got loads of content on my channel where I compare the best in e-ink tablets. You might have just discovered the world of e-ink tablets through the Kindle Scribe, and that's fantastic. There are already some great options out there for you, and I'd really encourage you to have a little bit of a shop around to make sure you get the right one. Stay tuned, because in this video I'm going to give you a great way to decide between those alternatives towards the end of the video. There's no way to change the template once you're in a note. So as far as I can see, the reasons to buy a Kindle Scribe are if you have a big Kindle library, and if you read a lot of non-fiction. If you're reading a lot of more academic texts, or a lot of self-help kind of text, or anything like that, you know, non-fiction, the kind of things that aren't published normally as paperback sized, then you'll get along better with a larger screen. So if you want to carry just one device and you want to read on that and make notes on that as well. Your notes, you don't need anything more than just kind of ink on paper, because there are no other features in this notebook apart from that. The writing feel is quite a pleasure, and the reading, because it's a Kindle, is very good. So if that's all you need, yeah, this will work. So far, that's all. Maybe in 2023, the Microsoft thing will come and be really good. And if they give us a full suite of Office apps, then this could be a really powerful device for productivity, as well as just reading and some occasional note-taking. But let's talk about what it's not. The drawing is rubbish. I mean, there is just one pen and 5 different thicknesses, a highlighter and a rubber. There's no way to select or resize. There's no textured brushes or anything like that. This is not going to be the device for drawing on at all. I'm amazed by how rubbish the browser is. I mean, absolutely shocked that they've brought this out with an option for an e-ink browser, and this is what we've got. I mean, I know its primary purpose is just to follow links in books, but even so, tend to test out browsers with the BBC website. You should be able to display the BBC website, and this is what you get. I mean, that's not some other language. That's just gibberish. There's not something wrong with the BBC today. That's just appalling. The pictures aren't even formatted correctly. I mean, how on earth has this managed to get to market with this as the browser? I'm sorry, that's just laughable. It's a bit embarrassing, Amazon. And if the first thing in your update cycle has to be just make a browser that's usable, let alone a fully functioned browser that can do desktop class browsing if it needs to, that can memorize your passwords and all the things we just expect from browsers these days. PDF transfer is easy. However, it's not as easy as just being able to go to a browser and find a PDF that you want and download it down onto the device. For instance, on Remarkable, there's a button here on my browser that I can just send one click, send to Remarkable. But you can just search send to Kindle, and because my computer, my actual browser knows that I'm who I am and it's logged me straight into Amazon, I can just now drag this in here and send it to Kindle. That is really easy, but as you see, I've had to download it onto my computer and then send it to my Kindle through the browser there, and it should appear in my library. Pretty sharpish. So that's straightforward. It's weird how it handles PDF, the fact that you can only annotate it if you send it via the Kindle system that way or by the email. You can't if you want to put it on here by USB. I don't see why you would want to put it on by USB, because that's just as easy there. Maybe you don't have internet connection. And the PDFs, you can't select the text on a PDF. Hyperlinks work, but you can't select the text. The last time I did this, it came through quite a bit quicker. Oh, and also you can't see your annotations on another Kindle device or on the Kindle app. I mean, why is that? It seems just so simple to implement that, and it would be really useful. That's how I got this one on here. earlier. So that was easy. It's not proving to be quite as easy as last time, but it isn't as easy. Aha, there you go. Okay, so maybe it's just slightly longer because it's a slightly larger file perhaps. Now you can see it's come through as a proper PDF. It's landscape. Does this even have a landscape mode? It doesn't have an auto rotate. Seem to have accidentally turned it off. Is there any way to rotate this device? I don't think there is there? So yeah, apparently I can find no way to rotate this screen to make it a landscape for this PDF. So that's a miss. It's a bit like going back in time really, and using Eink tablets when they were frustrating. This, as you can see, it's refreshing every single time. This is not handling this PDF very well. You can though annotate on the PDF, and that's absolutely fine. You can't select any of the text or make any annotations linked to the text. And let's see, if I zoom in so I can kind of see that half, and then I want to read the other half, I can zoom across. I have to deal with this really annoying refresh. And I change page. Can I change page now? No, okay, I need to zoom back out again, I suppose. Then I can change page. Here's a good example, look. It's a big concern for us in physics that we don't get many people to actually become physics teachers, unfortunately. Way below our target numbers in physics and computing. Maths are a little bit better, but we're not doing so well in physics. And then proportion of the working age teachers who are leaving, look, gosh, we have a real problem. Although this is usable, I can do this, it is not a good experience when you compare it to something like reading a PDF on a books device. And I will do that in a coming video, but that's not what this video is. And the other thing is, well, yes, sure, the Kindle reading experience is really good and reading Kindles on here is really good, but guess what? So is the Kindle app on so many other devices as well. So if you just want to use a Kindle device, well, this is fine, but it's better than fine. It's nice, it's good. And now that we can do the sticky notes on it, that's a good thing. It's the first time you've been able to do that on Kindle. When I share this note out, here I can see all my sticky notes. I can send to email, and that's my only choice. I'm not seeing as well as seeing page 30. Oh, it is actually displaying the highlighted text. That's fine. And I can go to it, that's fine, and I can edit it. So that is acceptable, isn't it? So if you're in the Kindle world, this is a good use of some note-taking features on the Kindle books, and this is the first time you've been able to do that really with a pen input. But if you want to draw, look at Remarkable or Books, because the Kindle Scribe won't be a great drawing experience. And if you want to write, look at Books or look at Supernote, because they will give you a much better experience of actually making typed text. And okay, well, the last point to make about the Kindle at this point is that it's a good price. It's not too expensive. Relatively against the Remarkable, certainly for the entry level, you can get one of these for just over £300. Not a lot of storage, but you'll be okay as long as you don't want to rely on Audible all the time. The standard pen I'm sure is just fine, but you probably want the one with the rubber and the second button, and having a second button here is quite good. So I've got highlight and rubber without having to access any tools. And I don't want to have to go into that tool palette because it's fraught with so much. But just like the Remarkable, if you add in a case, then, or you bump up the storage, then it does quite quickly get up to that £500 mark, which is the sort of price of the Supernote books anyway. And also to say, well, yes, you do have access to Goodreads, and Goodreads is a good place to go for book recommendations. Whereas it's in More, I believe. If you've never used it, then it is a good place to go. It should have me logged in already. Here I am with my books, more coming soon. And that's an excellent discovery and recommendation system. It's kind of algorithm based if you want it to be, or it can be just sort of huge database based if you prefer to search that way. And that's nice to have, but of course it's not exclusive to Kindle. As promised at the start of the video, here is a way to decide if you're not sure on what I've just gone through, in terms of how might you decide if this is for you or one of the others. But I think if I draw a little bit of a matrix for you, I'm going to use a darker line. and there's no way to make a straight line, which is quite frustrating really. Just go slowly, use my architecture skills. On this end I'm going to put writing, and this end I'm going to put reading. And so to use this to give you a recommendation, just think, what is your main use case going to be? Is your main use case going to be over here at the reading end or over here at the writing end? And on the vertical axis today we are going to have work and pleasure. So is your use case mainly for writing or for reading? Is your use case mainly for work or pleasure? Well, let's go through some examples. The Kobo, for instance, is a great reader, and it does have the advanced notebook features, and so you could probably put it somewhere here on the reading end, possibly a little bit closer to the writing actually. And because of those advanced notebook features, you're going to get some great things for work as well. But I wouldn't put it as, maybe not quite as high up on the work axis there. The Remarkable, I don't think it's a great tool for work, but it is a better tool for writing than some others. It is not the world's best reader. And I don't think it has enough ways to integrate with what already exists probably in your work life for it to be amazing at work. And they're really going for the work thing, but there are better options if you want to use something for work than that. The Books Note, I'm actually going to put here somewhere towards the writing end, and it's the Note Air 2 currently. Note Air 2 Plus is the best in that. And then the Books tab, I'm going to put, it's definitely not a reader, would be better for writing because of the keyboard cases, etc. as well, up here. And it's definitely, if you're going for something for purely for work, it's probably going to be the Books tab just now. Supernote, definitely over here on the writing end, but does have some good reading features as well, and probably I would suggest is more in the line of work than it is for pleasure. It doesn't have backlights, for instance, so if you want a bedtime reading, then the Supernote is not that. And then lastly, where is the Kindle? The Kindle, I would suggest, is way over here on the reading end. It's the most reading orientated of the main devices of this size, and it is also firmly, in my opinion, a pleasure-based reader rather than a work-based tablet. That is not to say that it is not more useful for work than a normal size of Kindle, the Kindle Paperwhite or the Kindle itself, but it is definitely not a work-orientated device. It's more orientated towards you getting pleasure out of reading, which is no bad thing. Hopefully this can help you sort of imagine where you are. Is writing more important to you? Is reading more important? Is work more important? Or is pleasure more important in terms of you buying this device or one of those others? That's a nice way to compare, and I hope that helps you make the buying decision. More content on the Kindle coming soon, of course, including a full review after I've used it for 2 weeks at work. I won't be giving you my opinions until I've actually lived with it and I can give you my real world experience of this device. I'm not just going to go through the features, which wouldn't take long anyway. So back for more with that, and I will do actual comparisons to the majority of these devices, and of course one of my epic smashes where we go through a whole load of different devices and compare them on matrices, mainly to do with using these devices for work. If you're looking for something for reading for pleasure, that's your main use case, this is great, buy it. It's wonderful. Links in the description.